everybody, and welcome to the Women's Perspective. I'm Essie.
I'm Shatara.
And I'm Shelby.
And today, I have some exciting news. Guys, for those who don't know, yes, I am expecting, okay? And you can't really see because, yeah.
Oh, you're small. She's
hearing
small.
that well. But, yes, for those who don't know, it's a boy.
Yay!
It's exactly what I wanted. Blessings on top of blessings.
Yes. Hopefully he has her eyes.
Yes, that part. But I just want to touch bases on the fact that because I am expecting, there may be some recordings that I won't be attending, but no worries. It doesn't mean that I'm not doing the show. Oh, well, the podcast. It's just, I already have a daughter, so it's going to be a little lot on my body. So, I'll just take a break here and there. Not too often. You'll still see my face now.
Yes.
I just wanted everyone to get a heads up because I don't want you to be like, where's Essie? She's still here.
Yep.
Just with child. Two of them.
So, yeah, we're just going to touch on motherhood, maternity, being pregnant, my experience through it. I know these ladies aren't mothers yet, but just some opinions on, people they dealt with, been around, dealing with pregnancy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm excited because when she announced and, the gender reveal was yesterday, we all discussed it as a group that this would be a real good opportunity to talk about the things that are required for the women, what they go through, their body's toll. We talked about the mindset and a whole bunch of different, we're going to touch on a whole bunch of different things, statistics, so.
Everything across the board. Motherhood. 10. From how they're treated in the hospitals, from just being pregnant to certain things like prenatals that she was telling us that they give women. Some don't take them, some do, some go the natural route. So let's get started.
Yes. So yeah, I could just start with, every pregnancy is different. You don't expect the same out of each pregnancy. I know with my first daughter, off rip, I started gaining weight right away. I was hungry all the time. I craved sweets. And this one, I'm just it's the complete opposite. I'm not showing, as you can see, as much. I'm more of a spicy foods person. I love my spicy food all the time. My memory is a little bit more shot this time. Last time it wasn't, but this time it really is. So that's the thing. But like she was mentioning, I never took prenatals with my daughter. And my daughter, to me, is a genius. She's smart as any 3-year-old can be right now. So I never took those. I know they pressure women to take them because they say they have the B12 in it, the B6, everything that they need. But honestly, you can get all that in your natural food, your herbs, So that's all that I do with it. And then too, I'm just being cautious on what the doctors give me or tell me to take because you never know what's really in it. And they don't give you full details. And then, sometimes they say, these are some risks if you take it. And to me, if it has any risk on it, I'm not taking it. So that part for me. Also, I know with Skylar, I took an epidural. And this time, I don't want to do that. With her, I had to get 2 epidurals. Yes. Because they said the first one wore off. But I knew my daughter was ready to come. So I'm just like, okay. So when they gave me the second one, still, I feel the same pressure. I feel the same pain. And then sure enough, 20 minutes later, they said, oh yeah, you're ready to push. So, and now my daughter ended up swallowing her urine and her poop. So she had to go to the NICU, which was very stressful for me, being though that I couldn't have my daughter with me as soon as I gave birth to her. And then, the stress that your body goes on after you give birth because of the epidural. What they don't mention to you is that when you get the epidural, it's more, it intenses the contractions, it intenses the pain. It numbs your legs.
I thought it just eased the pain. Not that I did anything extra.
It's honestly it's not healthy. I don't think it's healthy for the woman's body. It's not healthy for the child. There are risks in taking it that they really don't mention to you about that. Because these days doctors want to do everything that's more convenient for them, not for the women.
Yeah, I was just about to say that because I remember you brought that up when we were doing our back end research, and you said that doctors say things that make it easier for them to deliver, not for what's better for the woman's body. And I wasn't even thought of that, but it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's just like what they prefer because, you know, think of it. They're doctors. How many other patients are they waiting on? How many other patients are they dealing with?
Yeah.
How many births are they doing in that day alone?
Exactly. Yeah. And then sometimes some of them are just getting called in from home. Like, I know when I was giving birth to my daughter, the doctor wasn't even in yet. They was like, oh, we called him and told him that you're ready, so. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
So it's almost like it's about turnaround times. It's not about the top quality, quantity over quality.
Yeah. So that was very discouraging. So I know this go around, I am definitely going to push for a natural birth, whether it is at home or at the hospital, because I've been speaking with midwives, other women who have done natural births, tell me that, you know, their plan was to have an at-home birth, but sometimes complications do come up, so she had to go to the hospital, but she still kept it a natural. She didn't get the epidural. She just had some supervision, just in case anything did go wrong with the child. But that's my goal. I want to do more natural just because of, also too, during my research, they tell you that after birth, a lot of times they say it's worse. Well, yeah, it's worse because you done been drugged up and your legs are numb now to where your feet are swelled up, you can't even walk, and do what you got to do to take care of you and your child. To where if you do everything natural, your body, and you feel all that pain all the pressure and the pain already as you're giving birth, it's not as intense afterwards, you know, because your body wasn't numb as you're pushing out.
That makes sense.
You know, so that's a big goal for me.
You know, that makes a lot of sense. It's almost like you're gradually going on that scale, like of 1 to 10. Instead of you're on an epidural, you're at 2, and then as soon as it wears off, you're right at 10.
Shit, and you're not even at 10, but maybe at like 20 or 30. Because the epidural alone, from what I hear, it's a risk in itself. Just getting it. Like if they do one thing wrong, or if a woman flinches, she could go numb for the rest of her life.
She will. So, go ahead.
So it's like, it's scary, because my thing is, if you already know the risk is that, I wouldn't even want it in general. I would be more terrified to get it, because like, will I ever feel my legs again after this? Like,
that's what I'm saying. They even tell you, like, when they're first giving it to you, like, they told me to hold very still. Like, they was very precise with it. They was like, you have to stay still. Like, you cannot move, you cannot flinch. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what do you mean I can't move? I can't flinch, like something's gonna go wrong. And then sure enough, yeah, that just was a alarm to me. Like, okay, and then I couldn't feel my legs. I couldn't walk.
Seriously?
Oh no, and that's why they have you laying on your back, because your legs are numb. And you're not supposed to give birth laying on your back. If you do your research, you're supposed to give birth on your hands and knees. Or do a water birth,
that is one
just on your 2 feet.
Yeah.
So
I knew somebody who said they got the epidural, and they told them that they weren't ready to push yet. But by the time the doctor finally went to look, their baby was already coming. Like, so it's just like, you don't feel nothing. Like, your baby could be out.
You don't.
You don't know.
The only thing that I did feel with the epidural, when my baby was coming, was I felt pressure on my lower, like my behind area, which it also made you feel like you had to go number 2.
Can you answer that question? I'm sorry if it's invasive, but did you go number 2?
I
hear
did.
a lot of people do.
I
That's
did.
one thing I have heard.
Yeah, no, I actually didn't. I have heard other women, like I know my mother herself, she told me a few times she did. But it's not out of your control, because like you can't feel nothing. You're numb. So you know.
You know, I really appreciate, one thing I really like about this episode is, one thing I see mentioned is we don't have kids. And I know that I plan on the future, God willing, to have children and bring them into the world. And so nowadays, I think one of the best things you can do is do your research way beforehand. There's probably if you know you want to have children, like there's not a time frame that you should wait for, you know, because things are changing. There's things that have been taught to us that 10 years later, it's like, all right, a new study out. And that's not even talking about once the child gets here, because I know there's studies for that for days. They'll say, okay, it's green vegetables. Oh, now they can't have that. You can have food. You can have real food at 6 months. Oh, now wait 2 years. So, you know.
My daughter was eating food.
Oh,
when
I was eating at
when
like
she
3
noticed,
months.
I will never forget it. Her dad came upstairs. She was like 4 months, and he had a plate of food. And listen, her eyes got so big. She was so alert. She was like, hold on, what's that? Because that's not no bottle, that's not no baby food. And honey, once she got a taste of that real food, you couldn't give her baby food.
Yeah.
It was like, no.
Well, I think that's just them wanting you to give your baby the food they want you to give
Exactly,
your
because
baby.
what's really in those jars of baby food.
Metal.
Exactly. I'm just like, now,
There really is.
honestly,
Well, I gotta show y'all. It's this lady on Facebook. And you know, they say it's a conspiracy theory. Like, there's no metals in the formula. But like for me, for example, I have no kids, but I'm a auntie of 6, 7. So my nephews were really sick and they were on Similac, and I'm just like, why don't you go plant-based oat milk? And when she went oat milk, the baby stopped throwing up. They stopped going to the doctors, because at this point, if your baby's constantly throwing up a lot, they're in pain, they're not eating, and you're going to the doctors and they're telling you there's nothing they can do, it's the food you're giving them. It's nothing else. The baby can't digest metal. So the lady on Facebook was like, look what's in my baby's food. And I need receipts before I believe it.
Yeah.
She got 2, what are they called? I'm having a brain freeze.
The canisters?
No, the metal
Scissors.
thing. No, a metal thing. What is it called?
I'm confused.
Well, anyway, she got a metal thing.
A magnet.
Yeah, a magnet. She got 2 magnets. I don't know why I couldn't think of it. 2 magnets, and she placed it over the baby food. Why was there metal coming out of the baby food? I'm like, so it's not a lie. It's not a conspiracy theory. Y'all are really giving these babies metal and wondering why they're throwing up all the time. They're crying. They're having acid reflux because you're giving them Lord knows in their bodies at what?
Yeah.
2 weeks.
And that's why, I mean, you learn something new with every pregnancy. Like, don't get me wrong, your first pregnancy, don't think you're going to know everything off rip, because it's trial and error. You have to go through it to learn and experience. Like, one of my goals with my first daughter was to do the natural foods, but I didn't get around to that. You know, just with the whole coping with the whole pregnancy thing, because it is a lot on your mental. But this go around, like, I already have my whole little food mixer thing where I'm gonna be making my own baby's food, and I did breastfeed with my daughter, and I'm gonna breastfeed again. I mean, I wasn't able to. I know some women don't do it because they say that the baby can't latch on, but there's always a pump, and you better get the pumping, because that's what I did. My daughter didn't latch on, but I definitely pumped for her. And I mean, it's very time consuming, but if you can discipline yourself to do that, to make sure that your baby gets the best nutrients it can get so that it doesn't get sick and doesn't go through those things that she was mentioning, it's all worth it in the end.
Like, even you hear women say that they can't really produce a lot of breast milk. That goes into your diet.
It does.
You have to be cautious on what you eat, because if you're drinking, you're eating a lot of sugars, a lot of processed meat, anything that makes the natural body not feel good, lowers frequencies, going to do that to the breast milk. So you shouldn't be drinking Coca-Colas and bottles and gallons of juice. If you're producing food for your baby.
You shouldn't eat processed food, period.
Exactly.
Like, it's just not the route.
Yeah.
Not for you, not for your baby, not for your mental, you know.
It's hard, especially when you're about to be a mom. I feel as though, like, that's when you should care about what you're putting in your body, because your baby is eating everything you eat, feeling everything you feel. So it's just like, imagine
You're
how
just
you
tasting
feel.
it for real.
Right.
We're just tasting it. Everything goes to the baby.
That actually makes a lot of sense, because they say that the breast milk changes, like when the baby's sick, it adds antibodies, it changes colors and all that stuff.
Oh,
so it makes sense that
it was a period of time. My breast milk was like a light green. I was like, what?
That's crazy. I did see with COVID-19, they said breast milk helps. Drinking breast milk. So it's just like, so you're telling me only thing I gotta do is be pregnant, pump some milk, and I can cure myself?
Honestly, it tastes good. I tasted it. I mean, because I would have to check the temperature, because I did pump, and I would freeze it, so I would check the temperature on my hand, and I would just look it off, and it's very sweet. It's really good. Like they said, it's all based upon what you eat. So, that's why they tell you when you're breastfeeding, don't smoke, don't drink, because the baby is going to be drinking that.
Yeah. They also nowadays have been making like products and be making soaps and stuff out of breast milk. And I hear that's the best thing for people who buy it for, and it's not even there's not their mom or their child. They'll be across the country and buy somebody else's, because it's so good for your skin.
I haven't seen too much of that lately, like women that still produce milk and sell it. Because
really?
I was looking when I was pregnant, after I had my daughter, because my milk did start slow producing because of me pumping not so frequently. And I was looking like, well, who
But
has
so
the
you
breast
can
milk for
buy,
me?
so you can use my breast milk to feed your baby?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. Yo, women are amazing.
Yes.
Oh
very.
my
But you
gosh.
definitely want to be cautious. Like I would, if I was to ever do that, like I need you to fill out this questionnaire. What are you eating? Are you smoking? Are you drinking? Like I need to know all.
Are you eating pork? Because I don't even want your milk.
That part. Yeah. No,
Sorry, ma'am.
no. But yeah, like it should just tell you though. It was an eye opener for me. Like when I went to the doctors and they gave me a list of stuff that I couldn't eat, and it is just like, well, should I even eat this when I'm not pregnant? Because if I can't feed it to my baby, then
Why should I feed it to myself?
That makes a lot of sense too.
Even the placenta, ladies, a lot of people don't know this, but they keep your placenta at the hospital. They keep all women's placentas. The placenta is one of the healthiest things you can eat and put in your body after birth. And if you want it, they make you pay for it.
what?
At
They
the
didn't
hospital.
I would say they didn't give me Sky.
They make you pay for your own placenta.
And I'm like, what? I'm like, that's mine. It came out of my body.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean I gotta pay for my
They make
stuff?
you pay for it, and it's the healthiest thing you could pay for.
I know people save it because it has white blood cells in the cord, and some people, God forbid, have like if they need a transplant or them stem cells, they save that just in case until their child reaches a certain age and is cleared from all those stuff. So
Well, if you even look at the placenta, it literally looks like the tree of life.
Yeah,
So,
it does.
and it's attached to your baby. The actual thing is, you're not even supposed to cut the placenta. You're supposed to actually let the placenta naturally fall off and disconnect from the baby. Like, we don't even realize these things because we're not taught these things.
that's one of the things that they changed over the past like 5 years. I wish I could really date it. I will add some resources at the end, but they said that nowadays the doctors have been prescribing or recommending that they keep the placenta on for much longer because they would cut it off directly after birth.
It's too soon.
Yeah.
It was way too soon.
You're basically
You gotta
cutting
push
off
it
his
out.
life cord. Like, that's his life cord. And it's connected to the tree of life. And soon pop out. Gotta go.
It's
Like,
gonna be so crazy.
You actually push the placenta out.
you're
I
supposed to.
believe.
And the way you can push
I
it out. A
remember
lot of
that.
people die. Women die if they can't.
I thought I was done. When I pushed her out, I thought I was so done. It was like, okay, I could breathe. It was like, oh no, you gotta push the placenta. What? The what? You can't just pull it out? Like,
That is so crazy. And you bring up this tree of life, and that just ties into how birthing is a physical process, but it's also spiritually, it's all interconnected. You know, that's why nowadays we're seeing more with the doulas and the midwives. Which one is which? I think one is for the physical labor and one is like the mental coach. The doula is the one
I think it's both,
that
aren't they?
encourages you.
It's
everybody said the
doula.
doula. That's who I've been talking to, and she's been it's a web wine. I can't say it right, but a webinar. That's what it is. A webinar, Zoom meeting that I tap into, and it gives us all those fundamentals like how to do a natural birth. And the main key thing for women, period, is your mental. You have to train your mental to be prepared to go through that pain, and don't get discouraged. Because we were meant to do this. You know, our body was meant to do it naturally without medication. It was mankind that came and told us that, oh, you need medication to make it easier for you, because a woman would give out because of the pain that she's feeling, instead of coaching her through, like, you got this, you know, just take your mind to a happy place and just think about how healthy your baby's going to be when it comes out, and, you know, when you get to hold your baby, how much of a joy it's going to feel for you, that all that pain is not going to matter. And then also, too, it's great to have a great support system there with you to teach you those coping methods to get through the pain. Because a lot of times when you go to the hospital and they tell you, oh, do this to help with the pain, do that. No, it's making it worse. It's intensing the contractions. It's intensing the pain that you're feeling. So that's what I say, you know, just take your mind to a happy place. Make sure that you're in a comfortable zone when you are giving birth. Like, if you have to fix up that hospital room to make you feel comfortable, if you have to do whatever you have to do to make sure that your mind is in the right state to give birth, then do that. And I've seen that lately, the rates of a water birth and at home birth is going up because they feel more secure at home in their safe haven than they do at the hospital, because then you have to listen and obey to everything that these doctors are telling you. Because of course when you come in, it's like, do you agree for the doctors to, you know, medicate you or diagnose you with anything if you are whatever. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. But what discourages a lot of us is because why is an at-home water birth more expensive than going to the hospital?
Is it? I didn't know that. See,
I was
this is
just gonna
why
say
I'm
it's cheaper.
this. I would think it would be cheaper.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna tell them, mind your business.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have my baby, and if I need you, I'll call.
Because the house
that's my
out
mindset now. That's my mindset now. I said, I'm gonna wait
call.
the longest I can before I go to the hospital.
Because
I'm gonna try and wait to the last minute. Hopefully that baby's head is poking out before I say take me to the
because
hospital.
not only when you go to the hospital, they charge you for skin to skin.
That's what I was about to
Why
say.
are you charging me to hold my baby?
Yes.
Why are you charging me to feed my baby? Then, so it just like, it's a fee for me just to be a mother in this country. Mind your business. I'll handle my baby on my own. Like, there's now you could buy your own ultrasound to check on your baby.
They have a heart rate thing that you could do. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot of stuff that they have.
I didn't know
Walmart, you could. So now it's to the point where, well, I don't even think you guys read because you guys know, like, I'm into stuff like this. Now, like, different countries, like, even in our country, they're starting to have robots to come in to help with the process, which will eliminate the doctors in general and the nurses for the babies. So women should start learning about their own
That's
body.
why coming up in my room.
That's very
I've been safe with a doctor coming in.
But they're training. But robots, obviously, when they make them and train them, they're smart. So
But they're training them how they want to train them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they're training them to take the jobs of the doctor and the nurses who actually help you with your birth. That's why women should really just do your own thing at this point in time. Because it's shock. I'm not even a mom, but just with me having friends who are moms and me being an auntie, I'm just intrigued.
Yeah.
And it shocks me how much women have to sacrifice financially, not even physically, when it comes to their baby.
And that's enough. I was just going to touch on the mental process that the woman goes through. Males, fathers, brothers, whatever you are, if you are around any female that is pregnant, if you have a woman, a spouse, a sister, whatever that's pregnant, be there for her. We need as much support as we can get during this pregnancy. Like, they don't, that's one thing I say about males, is that they don't understand the whole drastic change your body goes through, your mental goes through during pregnancy. Try to make it less stressful for them. Don't do things that is going to get them overwhelmed, even emotional. Because, we are emotional creatures by nature. So when we're developing another human being, we're 10 times more emotional. And I just feel like a lot of men these days aren't sympathetic to the woman when they are pregnant and the things that they have to go through, because it is a whole mental change that you're going through. Not only your body, but your brain. Everything is like different. It's so different. And then sometimes you don't mean to think certain ways, but it's just like you have to think. You have to think of the what ifs. You have to think of what possibly could happen or cannot happen when you're giving birth, or just through the whole trial and error. Like, your body goes through so much. I can't express that any other way, but it's just be there for them.
I think, like, speaking on that, like, they don't even understand the postpartum aspect. But I think it's because in this generation, but it's just in this world these days, we don't educate how serious being a mother is. Like, you're talking about women damn near touch death when giving birth.
It's
like,
a 50-50 chance that you can die giving birth.
Like, anything can happen once giving life. So it's like, how dare you disrespect a woman when that woman gave her life, or almost gave her life, to create you.
Yeah.
And then, not only that, you had to grow a whole world inside of you, so they're taking everything from you.
Oh, they take everything. Like, if you ever notice, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
But if you ever notice after a woman gives birth, she's pale. Her lips be blue. You're aching. You can barely walk for real. Like, and then
Hair sheds.
Oh,
I did hear about the head shed.
Oh, it does. And then that's only because your hair doesn't shed while you're pregnant.
That's why it grows so much.
I forget what your body produces when you are pregnant, but it produces something to where your hair doesn't shed, and it grows extremely. Like,
Right. I think, like, with the 9 months of being pregnant, I think the whole 365 after giving birth is so crucial for a woman, and then her partner, the father, the child, whoever it is, to be there, because women women really kill themselves after giving birth. Women really they completely change. And I watch people change completely. And it's like, I watch people not even have a support system.
Yeah.
And it's just like, this person just created a whole world inside them, just gave us a whole world, and you think they're just about to be the same? Like,
you know, all of that reminds me of, I don't know if y'all keep up with the pop culture news, but Christmas Day, 𝐒𝐸𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐿 going off on whoever her baby dad is about just being there. Playboy. Because I felt so bad for her, and I wouldn't really wish that on nobody, because not only had, you know, she said he'd only seen his son a handful of times during that first 6 months, but apparently he wasn't even there for the birth of the child in the middle of a pandemic. So one of the hospital protocols nowadays, I think, is you can only designate one person. It doesn't have to be the father.
Yeah,
but she chose him, and he didn't show up. And so now she couldn't even have anybody else step in, because, you know, we're in the middle of a pandemic. So that is, I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
That's so hard.
That support system, I believe it, and it makes or breaks, you know, how it's always going to be a tougher recovery period, but it makes a difference of if it's going to be really tough or just tough, you know. So
that's what I say, like, even through the 18 years of being a mother or a parent, you need fathers. Y'all need to be more involved. Y'all need to take a lot more stress off the woman, because we do this 24/7, nonstop. Like, we don't stop being a mother. There's not a time that we can just be like, all right, I'm out, I'm done being a mom. No. Even when now I'm still thinking about my daughter, I'm still thinking about, okay, I have to get her at a certain time, and what I'm gonna do when I get her, cook dinner, what am I gonna cook, clean the house, make sure everything is suitable for her, that she's in a comfortable spot, you know. But they don't see that, you know. I think men just think that they're here to provide.
Because that's how we're raised. You gotta think, like, for so long it's been the man handles the finances, the man does this, and the woman, you tend to the children, you tend to the home. And now, as the world's getting just growing, like for us women here, we're like independent. Like, we don't really need a man for nothing. We want to work, we want to do our own thing, but we want our man to also do it 50-50.
That's what I'm saying. We just want the 50-50 part.
That's
like,
interesting. Because you said it's two and a half jobs, right? Raising a child is equivalent to that.
It really isn't. It's proven facts that it is for a woman, because even, like, I still work. So even when I'm at work, I'm like, okay.
Is my daughter okay?
Yeah, it's like, not even that. I'm just like, after this, I have to go home and be a mom. Like, I can't just go home and kick my feet up and chill and watch TV. No, I gotta go home and make sure my house is together. Make sure, like I said, make sure my daughter's fed, she's bathed. Make sure that she's getting the proper education every day, that she's learning what she needs to learn every day. And on top of that, just catering to everything. Because, you know, the word mom does not stop. Yeah. It's mommy this, mommy that, mommy look, mommy here, mommy come sit with me, mommy do this. It's like you really, really are giving your all to a human being, because they need it. You know, they don't know. Like, we are the teachers. And I just feel like for so long we were left to do it alone, when really it's not. It's a two-person job.
That's true.
You know, have you guys ever heard of when people say when two people get together, the man and a woman, is an exchange of power? Like, one person, for the men, they're known to be providers, and we are the nurturers. And then it's funny, because sitting here and hearing the conversation, I realized that, like, when the child is being born or being created, that is when we start that. We should start that practice of that exchange of power, because the woman, they have to step up, they protect their body, they become the protectors of that child until they reach a certain age. And then the men, they have to make sure that they're emotionally available. They're becoming the more nurturing one for the woman while they're carrying the child. And then it's good practice, because you need to be nurturing to your child, period. That's not just the woman's job.
I was just about to say that. I hate that they make it seem like it's just a woman's job to be a nurturer. No, because there's things that you can't learn from your mother that your father can teach you.
Yeah.
And yes, there's things that you can't learn from your father that your mother can teach you. Yeah. So that's why I'm just so gung-ho on this. It's a 50-50 thing. Like, I can't just raise my daughter by herself. I can't raise my son by himself.
I mean, the crazy part about it is the way things are set up, women do, and it's almost they can, but you don't realize that along the line, your child is always missing something. Like, for example, for me, like, my dad's been in my life. I know who my dad is, but my dad wasn't raised to be a nurturing father.
Yeah.
It was more of a, well, you see me, don't you? I'll support you in this aspect, don't you? But it's like, well, when is a father going to realize, like, in order for my baby to be whole, they need my love and your love. Like, I can teach my daughter how to be a good woman, but I can't teach her how to necessarily do what she needs to do to find the right man. Her father needs to, because what they say, the father's the first love, and a lot of daughters want to marry a guy like their dad. So if you're cheating on me, neglecting me, disrespecting me, and this is what my daughter's seeing, and I'm trying to love you through it, my daughter's going to grow up to love a man so much that she loses herself, love her man so much that she damages her children in the process. And it hurts because it's just like, when does a mother draw the line?
Yeah.
Like, I had a conversation with, like, I consider her my mother. And she's filled with so much regret and pain that she feels as though she stayed and she ruined her kids. But she feels as though maybe if she would have left, her kids would have been better. And it's just like, people don't even realize women sacrifice their mind, body, and soul to ensure their kids have everything. And that even means dealing with a man.
That means there's no excuse. Like, no matter what, like, I can never make an excuse as to why I'm not there for my daughter. But men can do that all the time.
Oh, I got things to do.
There's an excuse why they can't be a father. But let a woman say, oh, I have an excuse why I can't be a mother. We'll be bashed, shamed.
You're neglecting your daughter. You don't care about your kids.
But I'm just like, it goes both ways. So if you feel like that about me, it's the same way about you. You know, but it ties into, like, I think it's a big role to play on just the father figures. You know, I had to grow up in a home where he is my dad to me, but by blood he's not. But he stepped in and he played that role because he seen that it was needed. But why I'm getting to this is because we need our real fathers. You know, yeah, he may have stepped in as a provider and to be there, but he can't give me that emotional attachment that my biological father can give me. You know, it's something different when it's not your child. You know, it may be a little bit uncomfortable. Like, it's not uncomfortable to be there, to hear them out, you know, to pay for things, to make sure that they have a roof over their head. But it's a little discouraging when you're trying to, like, really love on them and hug them and, like, talk to them about men and sex and all that other stuff, when your real father should be there to just show you that, you know, be that example. Me, I was just one to, my dad just checks up on me on holidays. It's like, I don't get that one-on-one, pick up the phone, like, I'm thinking about you, I hope all is well, like, you know, and I can say that affected me in my life. Still at 24 years old, I'm still affected to this day of not having my biological father in my life as he should, you know. Yeah. So it's kind of discouraging because there's other children too, and he's like, but he decides to be there for them, but not me. No.
And it's hard. That has to be so hard because it's just like, I just don't think boys are not raised to be men, and then men aren't raised to be fathers.
They're not held accountable. And that's a lot that I'm saying now. If they were held accountable, and I mean not just by the women that they're dealing with, by their mothers, by their grandmothers, by their fathers, I feel like they would turn out different.
This is a good lead-in.
I can honestly say, my mama didn't raise my brothers to act not like gentlemen. You know what I'm saying?
That's where I thought that was going to go.
They're gentlemen though.
Yeah.
But it's from an aspect of, a mother can only do so much, and then the father has to show them, son, this is how you change a tire. Son, this is how you treat a woman. Son, when you see a woman cry, you're supposed to wipe her tears away and hold her, not walk away and say, I don't got time for this. So it's like, it's just so hard because it's like, these boys are just like, they don't know how.
And they're not going to learn neither if we keep allowing them to, ladies.
Yeah.
We have
to
put our foot down.
It is. And
I mean, it'd be hard, and I'm not going to lie because I've been through it before already. It will be hard to put your foot down. It's going to take it, because, you know, especially when you love somebody and you have ties to them, it's going to be hard. But in the end, it will be all worth it because that's going to make them be accountable because they're going to see, oh, she's not playing with me. You know, she's not about to just let me walk all over her. And then if there's more women like that, then they can't settle but it's a simple fact that
a lot of women aren't like that.
It's like, it's not too many of them are like that, so
Yes.
they like, oh, well, all right, she's too much, well, this
Next.
well, let me do whatever.
Yes,
All right, that's cool.
and that's why it has to be like an elevation across the board. Like we talked on what the men need to bring to the table more, but that's where it gets into the generational curses, because the mom, you know, why it's so important that we take care of ourselves and build up this strong mindset, because once the child is already in the world, if we are already not where we should be, not to say that everybody needs to be at the same level, but it's an uphill
Showing
battle.
them different.
Like you're gonna be, it's gonna be, that child is gonna be experiencing stuff that they shouldn't be experiencing. They're gonna be seeing their mom put through stuff, and that's where it becomes, don't let it be a little boy, because that
Or
will
little
hurt
girl.
them. I mean, the little girl, that's, we're raised to be like already that second
We're
mom in
raised
the household.
to be a second mom, but then when it comes to us wanting to build our own home, we don't know what to do. We will tolerate things, and we're just like, wait, I don't want to tolerate this, but this is what I'm accustomed to tolerating. So
This
then
is what I was exposed to growing up.
Yeah.
You know, this is what I heard. This is what
and that's the problem. Like for a mom, like for example, for Essie, like, say for example, when her son gets here, I know for a fact the father of her children is going to be a great father, but like what if when 5 years down the line, he's cussing her out and the son's right there, so he's thinking, well, when I am upset, I can't cuss her out because my dad did it, and that's the problem.
Little things. Like I have to even catch myself now when I get upset and my daughter's around, some of the things that I may say, or you know, based upon my emotions and stuff, and I'm just like, you know, I will take a step back and think, and I'm just like, you know, next time I can't do that, because they're little parrots. They're going to repeat and mock everything that they see and that they do, because like I said, we are their teachers. So when they're in fear, when they're excited, who do they look to? Their teachers, you know. They don't go to some random, or they don't go to the TV and be like, oh, that's how I'm supposed to be. No, they go to the person that gave them life. You know, the people that's been in their life since then they can remember. So.
And that's not just speaking it, like having conversations, that's also showing it. So it's like, I can tell for example, when I have my child, God willing, hey honey, you don't want to curse, but then I'm out here cursing. So who am I to tell my child not to do something that I'm doing? So you have to really lead by example. Like I was just telling them before we started, like I went into a household and they wouldn't even say white in front of the children. They say W. And I'm just like, before that, I wouldn't even have thought about it. But it goes into how you speak around your children, how they're going to treat others and different things like that. So it's like every little thing matters. Like, you guys know about my youth clients. Mm-hmm. I took her to hibachi for the first time. And while we're at hibachi, she catch her staring at me, and then she'll do something. Mm-hmm. Like she watched how I wipe my mouth, and then she did it. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, every little thing. But then she's surrounded by people who don't look like her, who she's not used to. So she's just observing everything I'm doing and just following lead. And I'm like, yo, is this what it's like to be a mom?
You definitely being a woman, you really just gotta be cautious of how you're moving, period. Not just for your children, just for other women or other little girls outside looking in that don't have that motherly figure, because, you know, like they always say, you can be a light to somebody, you know. You are somebody's superhero. Whether you know it or not, there's always someone watching you and what you do, how you move in life, and how you overcome obstacles. So that's why it's always very important to find out what type of woman you want to be, and, you know, stay grounded in that.
Yeah, I believe that.
Healthy boundaries, and stick to your healthy boundaries.
Yeah.
Because if you do, no one will ever walk all over you. Like, maybe if your boundary doesn't work for that person, it'll work for the next person because they respect you and want to keep you happy, you know? So.
And all that does get into protecting the child, and that will start or stop what their child is introduced to and what they're exposed to, you know, the type of environment. And I think about how sometimes maybe how we interact with our partner and all that type of stuff, that's gonna almost be carbon copied onto our child because they are so impressionable at that time. So it's nice to hear all those different things you have to be mindful of, not just the physical aspects of it, but a lot of it is mental.
All of it to me is mental. It starts with your
I
mental.
think that too. Everything plays a part of your mental and your emotions, because if I'm not healthy mentally and emotionally, my spirit's
I'm
off,
not good for no
physically I'm
one.
off. It all plays a key role, but I just don't. Women, we know, but now it's like how we get men to understand that while bringing in a child. Like everything you do matters. You're supposed to talk to my belly. You're supposed to hold me.
You're supposed to rub it every day. You know, you're supposed to actually physically be there. The baby needs to hear your voice every day.
Yeah.
And not just for an hour or two. Like it needs to hear it consistently. You
Yeah.
know, and that's where men don't. They just think, oh, because she's pregnant right now, I don't gotta be there. I'll be there when the baby's born.
But then even the first year of the baby being born, they're like, well, what am I supposed to do with them? Like they can't talk.
Let me tell you what you can do. The woman is drained. So you can let her get rest. You can change that baby's diaper. You can get up and feed it.
Yeah.
You can do all that stuff. You can make sure that house is clean. Like, come on, there's a lot
Not
of
changing
stuff.
diapers. No, that's
That's
ridiculous.
acceptable.
To say that you're not changing diapers is the woman's job. That's weird.
No.
Go make a bottle.
Like
Go
it's
do
a
something.
long thing. Like even if you're not like, because I know some men do feel like they will hurt the baby because they're little, they're fragile. Okay, if you don't want to help with the baby, help around the house. Help with the other children. You know, take some slack off their back. Even while they are pregnant, do that same thing because we're always tired. We're mentally and physically tired. Like right now, I'm tired. I'm ready to go home and go to sleep, y'all.
And then, when we were talking, one thing that I was like, wow, that's a really good idea. Find time to schedule for the woman just to take care for herself, to just be alone, not have to watch a child.
Self-care is so important.
Facilitate that.
It's so important, and a woman values that so much. I mean, some women may not talk about it, but I know the women I'm around, we value self-care, okay? Like, we would do anything to have self-care all day, every day. And if self-care was a job, listen, I'll be rich, okay?
Part-time self-care.
Seriously, so it's just like, be considerate. And not only men, women, like the women in your life, like mothers, grandmothers, sisters, be there for them, you know? Show them that you are in their corner, you know, that they have you, whether they don't have the father or if they do have the father. It takes like a village to raise a child, and it also takes a village to keep the mom sane. So
That is true.
I like that. Because everybody always gets so fixated on the baby, and the mom be over there half asleep with one eye open, and everybody just really does care about the baby. So those first 9 months, to me, in my mindset after this conversation, it's practice for the long run. It's not just nesting period for the mom, and everybody else gets to go and do their respective things. Just like mom's getting ready, everybody around mom should be getting ready.
And it takes a woman after birth about I heard it takes women max 5 years to get back to themselves. Guaranteed me, it took me 3.5 years to get my mental back where I wanted to be after I had my daughter. And it took me to realize that I got my mental together, to realize that I was off those whole 3 years, that I was going through depression through the first 2 years, you know, and that nobody's seen it. And because, you know, sometimes there's different types of depression, you know, postpartum depression. You know, there's where you neglect your baby, you know, where you start to hate your baby. And then there's one where you're just, you know, you don't want to talk to nobody. Like, you're more observed with your child, but you don't want to be bothered with anybody else. And sometimes that may even be the father. Like, you don't want to deal with the father. Or, you know, you don't want to deal with your close friends and stuff. Like, and I went through that after I had my daughter. Like, there was a lot of people that I was just like, I don't want to be around y'all. Like, I don't even want to talk to y'all. Like, I don't even want to look at you. Like, don't talk to me. And it's not them per se. It's just like your body is going through all these changes. And then, too, if you don't have the proper help and a proper support system, your mental is going through changes, too. Because you're battling with yourself.
That is true. There's women who have a husband right next to them who still struggle with it. So it's just like, fathers, we really need you to step up, to be more active, like the whole 9 months, the whole entire time the baby's in the real world. Not when they're 1, not when they're 6 months, but the whole time, every day. Mental check-ins.
Yeah.
I love a mental check-in. How's your mental? Not how's the mental? How are you feeling today? Anything works, because
I think some men really have started to peep how much really goes into bringing a child into the world, because it's in modern 21st century stuff. We're starting to see the push presence and the vacations. Y'all, so there's steps being made in the right direction. Keep moving that way, because
I'm saying even if the circumstances isn't how you want it, whether you and the mother is together or not, whether it was an accident, okay, it was an accident, it wasn't supposed to happen, or you're not together anymore, it doesn't matter. Y'all now made a lifetime commitment to bring a child in this world, so therefore y'all have to work as a team. No one's saying that you have to be together to make it work and raise this child properly, but if you are the best man that you can be and the best woman that you can be for that child, and that child shouldn't
be happy.
Yeah, shouldn't have no problem or, no rough paths.
Because a happy home is a happy home, whether you're together or not. The child just needs a happy mother, a happy father, and a happy home, even happy homes. It just needs to be stable, and it needs to be happy, and they need to know what consistency is, and love is, and respect. And those are key. And across the board, I think the world needs to realize that, because right now we're dealing with a whole bunch of trauma kids. And these trauma kids do not know how to act. They don't have any emotions. You can't tell them nothing, and it's hard. But then you go and look at their homes, and they're unstable. They're chaotic. Where's mom? Well, where's dad? Where's any parent at this point, So I think we definitely need to stop taking children lightly.
Yeah, because that's a job. Like they said, that is a full-time job plus 2 more on top, if you ask me.
Yeah. So I know I have a new perspective. I have a lot more respect for the process that the women go through, the effect it has on their mindset and also their body. We always think about the body, but we need to start paying more attention.
As much as we may look okay, just believe me, my body is going through discomfort right now. Like, my back hurts right now. My hips, I feel spreading. My ankles are always sore. And then you can feel your stomach. You can actually feel the stretching of your stomach. You can feel every movement of your baby, to where they're on top of your bladder. Like, mine stays on my bladder. Like, it kicks it, and I'm like, can you go one more time? I'm gonna pee myself. And it's terrible. I don't mind sharing this, but like the little things I go through, like sometimes when I sneeze, I'm about to pee myself. Okay, I cough, I'm about to pee myself. Like, I still get morning sickness, so when I'm throwing up, I'm bound to piss on myself. And I'm just like, that right there alone, like, how do you think that makes a female feel? That she can't control
her body.
It's like, and we don't. Like, it's not to boast, like, oh, I was about to pee myself. No, in my head, I cried. I'm like, why am I about to pee myself? Like, why am I doing this? I don't understand. But then when your clothes start to not fit, and it's just, it is.
But I would like to say, woman, I respect y'all. I know I'm one, but I'm not a mother yet.
We are the greats of the life.
Y'all are great. Y'all are the creator. We are the creators of life.
For real.
And I respect any mother, any person who is pregnant. You guys are literally heaven sent to me.
That's the most elite club in the world.
Motherhood
club. Yes, I can't wait to become a member.
We need more people like this. Okay?
Give me a son. I'm ready to take pictures.
I'm actually seeing.
Oh, I'm done.
Can I just say, I was like,
y'all, I'm ready to be like this.
Please.
2 minutes pregnant.
Not 2 minutes.
If you're carrying a girl, please comment and let me know, because I was picking up girl vibes. I was convinced.
Oh, I knew she was having a boy.
I know you wanted a boy, so I was like, I want her to have a boy for her.
I'm gonna tell y'all why I knew I was having a boy. Like I said, every pregnancy is different. The pregnancy that you have with a female is completely different than the one you would have with a boy. But don't get me wrong, because you can have a different pregnancy too with your daughter. And say if you have a daughter twice, you get pregnant twice and you have a daughter. Those pregnancies will be different. It's not going to be the exact same. But like I said in the beginning, my daughter, I craved fruits, sweets, all the time. Like, I barely wanted spicy food. I did like hot wings, but it couldn't be too hot. I didn't really want like southern food or any of that. Now this one, I want spicy everything. I want my veggies. I do still eat my fruits just because I just always been a fruit person. But you can't give me no sweets. I don't want no cake. I don't want no ice cream. Like, I don't want none of that. that stuff. I'm just like, give me a full meal, okay? I'm ready to go down south somewhere and get me some real fried chicken with some greens, some black eyed peas.
Ooh, that's what mommy making for dinner today.
Listen, that's that, and not only that, but also too with my daughter, I start showing automatically. Like
You're small.
yeah, I start gaining weight. I gained about 50 pounds with her, and I'm 5 months now, and I have not gained anything.
Okay, baby boy's doing her well.
Yeah, I haven't gained anything. And then too, my daughter, I broke out a lot here with your hormones. This one, my skin is. It's amazing. I'm just like, keep me pregnant forever if my skin's gonna look like this, okay? But also too, I find that I'm a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more with mood swings than I was with my daughter. I was more emotional with her, very sensitive to everything. So I was just like, yeah, this has to be a boy. Just the way my stomach was shaped too. Like, I know they say that you carry more higher with the boy, I believe, and lower with the woman. With the girl. So I'm just like, yeah, everything was just completely different. So I was like, yeah, I'm happy. This is my boy. I know it is.
I told her as soon as she told me, I'm like, it's a boy. It has to be a boy. Hopefully it looks just like her. Sorry, Ray.
Yeah, that's I'm hoping that he does. I want him to have my eyes. So
Yeah, it's definitely the eyes for me.
yeah.
I'm excited either way for if he's blue-eyed or brown-eyed or green-eyed.
It's gonna be beautiful.
Curly hair or not. I love the babies. Like you said, I'm an auntie of, I don't even know how many at this point. It's like 10 or 12 of them little kids running
She says
around.
10 or 12.
And
She's lit, auntie.
It's just too much. I'm the auntie, and so I just love to hear. I love to hear the different stories. I love to hear how the child progresses because every child's gonna be a little different.
No, I think that's my thing. I love every little moment. Oh my God, he just said hi. I think he's looking up. He's moving his head.
It's very beautiful. Like, it is a heartwarming feeling to watch a child grow since you gave birth to it. Just to see how smart they catch on to, like, how they catch on to things. Callie.
That's the closest I have to a child.
Callie.
Yeah.
And actually, I hear that parents don't like that because my dog gives me a run for my money, but nothing will ever compare to parenthood. I just know that.
Oh, it's not. But that's why I'm so gung-ho on not having a dog. Why I have children. Like, maybe I'll get a dog when my
I
kids
think
grow
you
up
would like
in
a
the
little
house.
pit bull would be nice. Maybe at one though. Don't get it as a baby. That's too much.
Listen, if I was to get a dog, it would come fully trained. Like,
You can.
yeah, I was gonna say I don't have time for that. Like I said, being a parent is a lot, and then to have more than one, I would say that's like 4 jobs, if you ask me.
Yeah. Oh goodness. well, actually, but my one philosophy is once you have one, you might as well start to 3 or 4 because eventually they start taking care of each other.
Oh yeah,
It's a return and investment.
Get out.
That money starts going. You recycle them clothes and all that stuff. So.
I hope I have them back to back.
That's
One
fine.
out, you out. All of them's gone. Yay!
Yeah, that's my thing. I didn't want to have mine too far apart because of that. Like, I'm like, I don't want to wait a whole another 4 or 5 years until this one has to get out the house. Like, okay, 2 to 3, that's cool.
What is the age? Yeah.
Yeah, it's 3.
Oh, that's perfect.
That's me and Micah.
Yeah. For me, with all my siblings, it was 2 years.
And I think that's honestly,
good.
I think that's perfect though to start to get another child because then when they're 3, so they're more acquisitive to things. They want to be more helpful. They're more independent. So it's not like you're changing 2 diapers. You're feeding 2 babies. You have that extra help. I mean, it may not be as much help, but the little help goes along.
But they'll go get a bottle. They'll go
That's
get
what I'm
a
saying. Like, when
diaper.
you're feeling lazy and you don't feel like getting up, they'll definitely go and get it for you.
Plus 3, I feel like is when they really they want their own independence. So they've gotten through that toddler baby phase. Like I sometimes do feel bad when the firstborn is still 1.5, 2, and they want to be held, and the mommy is kind of
Listen, my 3-year-old still wants to jump on me and wants me to hold her sometimes. She still wants me. She still wants to sleep in my bed, but she's not. I feel bad because I'm just like, because she says to me, she says, "Well, the new baby's gonna be able to sleep in your bed," and I'm like, "Yeah, because when you were a baby, you slept in my bed, but you're not a baby no more." So, yeah, that's just she made me feel bad about that. So it's like whatever.
Well, many blessings to you. I cannot wait to see the progression. I can't wait to see the belly growth and all the things for baby boy. When you guys decide on the name, Guys, I really wish we would have done a pre-recording because those names. What names were y'all throwing out there? Savage? Who said no?
Savage, Dior.
Super.
It was superior. Like, I'm having a hard time finding baby names. Not because of me, but the father.
He wants to name his first son something very meaningful. Just name him King.
King. He has a nephew named King. So it's like, every name and that's why it's so hard because it's like the names that I do like, they're already taken.
I don't care. We're going to recycle these names at this point. But in our city, you took my baby's name.
Yeah.
There's 50,000 people here. I had to borrow it.
Yeah, that part. Like, I had to use it just for a little bit, okay?
I'll move.
Aww. Yes.
For a lifetime, but
No.
whatever.
Definitely shout out to all the mothers who are going through a pregnancy and birth during these times. You
Yes.
guys are warriors.
Just always remember, yes, you are strong and you are meant for this. And we will overcome any and everything.
Yes.
Because, believe it or not, the universe depends on us women. Okay?
We stop having kids. Ain't no more life. My child needs.
Men can't make men can't make children without the woman. So,
Nope.
They might start getting crafty, y'all. It's 2021.
right? I'm about to say, these robots might be.
These robot babies coming out next.
Listen, there's going to be a camera on the end of those delivery robots because they learning. They got to see what to do. They look at what they doing.
Have you ever watched I Am Mother?
No.
Oh, I might want to watch that. If y'all never have out there, watch I Am Mother because we just talking about this robot stuff, so it just made me think of that. But yeah, I hope times don't get like that.
I don't think we'll be here. Our kids might. They're grandkids.
No, they basically took what they did was they went and took the eggs from women like us. They killed them, took their eggs, and they put them in these little safe haven machines or whatever.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
And whenever they were ready to have a child or have a human in the world, they would put it through this little sack and it would grow in like 9 hours.
Yeah.
I did see that. It's being done actually in different countries. So that, what is it called when it's so the woman doesn't have kids anymore? Hysterectomy?
Yes.
So they're convincing more women to have hysterectomies because what they're doing is taking your womb and putting it into like a machine thingy where they can actually create a baby using your womb. So women, stop giving these people your womb. Relax.
Literally. Literally. Because that just makes me scared a little bit for the future because I'm sorry, you're not taking any of my eggs, you're not taking my womb, and you're not creating nothing.
They say don't put your organ donor on your license anymore.
Yeah.
Because they will take everything.
Yeah.
Am I organ donor?
Guys, you guys a little scared me a little bit, so we gotta bring it back up to a higher note, guys.
But
No robot moms,
no
never mind.
robot moms.
I'm good. Little babies, little cute babies, guys, It's gonna be so beautiful watching the process, and we'll definitely keep you posted on, the names and when the little bundle of joy is into the world.
I'm not an organ donor.
Hey, it's
Gemini baby. Oh, is that? I was gonna ask.
It's a Gemini baby. That's why I wanted a boy though, because I can't do a Gemini girl. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a little.
Not a cusp, like just middle Gemini season?
Yeah, May 27th.
Oh, God, yeah, that's
It's
the beginning.
My brother's May 26. I hated him all my life until I turned 20.
Oh, but
I feel bad for Sky.
that's nice actually because you are up against the cusp, a little Taurus sweetheart
I know,
or a
right?
Gemini sweetheart.
That's what I'm saying. I'm hoping that it does fall into the Taurus
Probably
part.
don't act like Micah.
Oh, that'd be an eating buddy though.
Mhm.
They're so sweet. Oh goodness.
They're mommy boys.
Yeah.
He's gonna
Oh
love
my
you so
God.
much.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
That's what I need.
He's gonna love
I need
you.
all the loving.
And you got a sweet little girl too.
Yeah,
Oh, God bless
Sky
your
Rock,
beautiful
Sky
family.
Yes.
Real much love to you and Ray. It's
Yes,
gonna
ma'am.
be a beautiful.
Thank
It's
you.
beautiful to watch. It really
It
is. We're so happy for you guys.
We are. It's
Thank
the
you.
growth for me. Congratulations.
Thank you.
But yeah, y'all. To all our mothers out there, be safe, be well, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. All you guys going through birth or pregnancy during this time, we send you guys so much love. And so continue with love because, honey, I know it's hard.
It's a celebration. It's a celebration though. Have fun. Make it as much fun as it is work too.
They told us to social distance, and God wasn't doing it.
That's what I'm saying.
God
Wear your
wasn't
mask.
doing it.
Wear your mask.
Yes.
Drink Drink your teas, have your herbs, eat your fruit, drink your water, and we're out.
And that's us. Be happy.